There is something under your flower pot right now. Lift it in this season, in this warmth, and you will likely see them scatter. Dark, slender bodies, no longer than a fingernail, moving fast in every direction at once. And at the rear of each one, unmistakable, a pair of curved, rigid forceps pointing backward like miniature tongs. Your instinct is to reach for something, to sweep them away or worse. Stop before you do anything else. I need you to understand what you are looking at, because the insect under your flower pot, the one you have been lifting pots to find and removing on site, is not damaging your garden. In most cases, it is protecting it. And the pincers that make you uneasy are the most misread thing about an animal that has been misread for centuries. Today we are going to look at this creature together. By the end, I think you will put that pot back differently. The insect belongs to the order Dermaptera, a lineage that has existed in roughly its current form for over 200 million years. The species you almost certainly found in your garden is Forficula auricularia, commonly called the earwig, a small insect rarely exceeding 2 centimeters, with a reddish-brown segmented body and a pair of short leathery wings folded tight against its back, and those cerci, the forceps. In males, they curve dramatically inward. In females, they are straighter, less pronounced. They are not weapons designed for you. They are sensory instruments used to subdue small prey, to fend off predators of similar size, and in males, in courtship and contests with other males. Against a human hand, they can produce the faintest, briefest pressure. They cannot break skin. They deliver nothing. At full exertion, the pincers feel like a gentle tap from a toothpick. The fear embedded most deeply in this insect is the one carried in its name, the belief that it crawls into ears. This idea appears in folklore across cultures, and it is not supported by anything earwigs actually do. They have no documented attraction to the human ear canal. They are not drawn to the human head. They seek damp, dark spaces beneath objects on the ground, not the interiors of sleeping people. The myth has followed them for so long that most people encounter the word earwig and feel revulsion before they have seen the animal. What that revulsion has cost your garden is something we are going to get to. The one charge against them that carries partial truth is plant feeding. Earwigs are omnivores, and yes, they consume soft plant tissue, particularly the young leaves and petals of seedlings and flowers when other food is scarce or populations run high. This happens. But understanding the earwig's diet as simply, it eats my plants, is like understanding a garden robin as it eats my soil. It describes one behavior while missing the defining one. After dark, when you are not watching, she moves. Along the soil surface, up through the stems of your plants, along the underside of leaves. She is hunting. The primary targets are aphids, the soft-bodied, colony-forming insects that cluster on new growth, drain it past plant viruses from stem to stem, and leave the sticky residue that draws sooty mold. She is also hunting spider mites, the near-invisible colonizers that stipple leaves with feeding damage until they yellow and drop. And she is consuming the eggs and early larvae of other pest insects before they have the chance to develop into anything you will notice. Researchers studying integrated pest management in Swiss apple orchards found that earwig populations were directly associated with reductions in woolly apple aphid colonies of between 60 and 70%. Research from Agriscope, Switzerland's Federal Agricultural Research Center, documented earwigs reducing codling moth egg numbers in monitored orchards by approximately half. These are orchard-scale findings population-level impacts on pest insects from an animal you can hold between 2 fingers. She is also consuming decomposing organic matter along the soil surface, accelerating the return of nutrients to the soil. She is functioning across multiple layers of your garden simultaneously, every night, without any signal from you. Let that settle for a moment. The aphid colony that appeared on your roses last month and seemed to clear on its own, she may have done that before you had to reach for anything. No spray, you can purchase targets aphids, mites, and pest larvae simultaneously across the surface layer of your garden bed the way she does. No trap positions itself along your plant stems after dark. She does all of it quietly, continuously, for free. And you have been trying to remove her. But the predation, significant as it is not the most remarkable thing she is doing under your flower pot. In late winter or early spring, she excavates a small chamber in the soil. beneath a stone, beneath bark, beneath the base of a pot, exactly like yours. She lays between 20 and 80 eggs in that chamber, positions herself around them, and stays. She does not leave to feed. She remains with the eggs continuously, turning them regularly, cleaning them with her mouthparts. This is not incidental behavior. Earwig eggs are susceptible to fungal infection, and her constant grooming, the turning, the cleaning, the repositioning, actively prevents that infection from taking hold. Researchers who removed females from their egg clutches in controlled studies found that hatch rates dropped sharply as fungal pathogens spread through the unattended eggs unchecked. She is not simply nearby. She is performing care the eggs cannot receive from any other source. After the eggs hatch, she continues to guard the nymphs through their earliest stage, staying with them until they are capable of dispersing on their own. Sustained maternal care of this kind is found in a small fraction of insect species. The overwhelming majority of insects lay their eggs and do not return. The earwig stays. She fasts. She works. And she does this not because her environment is safe. She does it precisely because it is not. It is not a pest. It is a guardian. 200 million years of this. Through mass extinctions, through the full emergence of flowering plants she now helps to protect, through every transformation of the landscape she has occupied. The nocturnal predation, the maternal care, the sheltering in the damp, dark space beneath objects on the ground. That strategy has persisted because it works. It is working tonight, in the soil chamber beneath your flower pot. No spray reaches the microenvironment under that pot as precisely as she does. No predatory insect you could order and release navigates your garden's surface layer as continuously as she does. No trap intercepts woolly aphid eggs before they hatch. She does all of it silently, without any input from you, for free. To support her, the most important thing you can do requires almost no effort. Leave the pots where they are. Leave the stones and pieces of bark along the edges of your beds. These are not mess. They are shelter, and in early spring, nesting sites. Avoid applying broad-spectrum pesticide across the soil surface of your beds. Earwigs are sensitive to many common insecticides, and even targeted spot treatments can eliminate local populations that have been building through an entire season. If a high earwig population is causing visible plant damage, it does happen in wet years. When populations peak, the response is relocation rather than elimination. A damp-rolled newspaper placed near affected plants overnight will draw them in. Move it in the morning to a quieter corner of the garden, away from your most tender seedlings. You keep the predators. You keep the population. You simply redirect where they shelter. The creature under your flower pot is nocturnal, ancient, and devoted to her young in a way almost no insect is. She is hunting the insects that are trying to damage your plants. She is cleaning eggs in a soil chamber beneath your feet, fasting while she does it, staying when most animals would leave. The next time you reach for that pot, you know who is underneath. Leave her there. Have you found earwigs in your garden under flower pots, beneath stones, along the borders of your beds? I would love to hear what you have seen and whether any of this changes what you do about them. Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to understand another creature doing quiet, essential work in the soil beneath your garden, one that most people step past without recognizing what it is doing, that video comes next.